Welcome Strategy Battle Gamers to another GBHL YouTube channel video. You're here with your channel host, GBHL Jamie.
And GBHL James, and it is the Heroes of Angmar, of our Moria and Angmar week.
Ooh, I hope you've been enjoying the week so far. This is where we start to talk about the evil kingdom in the north. The realm of the Witch King.
Yeah.
The old realm of the Witch King is Angmar.
The person to start off with.
No way.
The Witch King of Angmar.
No way.
Yeah.
I did not see that coming.
He's a spirit. He can be banished.
Banished!
He has a varying point value. He starts at 70 and go all the way up to 150, if not higher. His basic profile is a movement 6, fight 5 with a 4+ shoot, strength 4, defense 8, 1 attack, 1 wound, courage 6, 0 to 3 might, 10 to 20 will, 0 to 3 fate. So you can have any combination of those that you want. Each pip of anything costing 5 points.
Wow, so very versatile.
Yeah, so it can be cheap to fit him in, and then sort of any leftover points just get put on to upgrading him a bit more.
Yeah, and he does have a lot of options.
He does. He has the Horned Fell Beast, the Armoured Fell Beast, and the Fell Beast, which we discussed in the Eastern Kingdoms.
Yep, and also in the Harad.
Yeah, but which one came first?
Betrayer would have come first.
Yeah, Betrayer will come first. So go check out the Harad number heroes to see the Fell Beast conversation.
Yep.
You can take the Crown of Morgul, the Morgul Crown, for 30 points.
Okay, what's that do?
And that gives him 3 attacks.
Ooh.
You can take an Armoured Horse, a Morgul Blade, and a Flail.
Okay.
So, the Morgul Blade, in case you don't know what that does, you elect before the fight. No. The evil player must declare he's using the Morgul Blade before rolling to wound. An enemy that suffers a wound from the Morgul Blade is automatically slain, regardless of the number of wounds on his profile. Heroes can use Fate wounds to avoid this.
So again, pretty good if they're out of Fate.
Out of Fate, go in, stab them.
Fateless heroes, yeah.
Yeah.
Sort of a sniper thing. How many points is that?
That's 10 points.
10 points, okay.
So worth throwing it in.
Yeah, if you've got the points spare then.
Yeah. As a ring wraith, he's got the Harbinger of Evil, Terror, and the Will of Evil. So go check out the Betrayer to check out what they do. And Might Will Fate, he can take up to 3 Might, 3 Fate, and 20 Will, costing 5 points per time. So you can become really big and have 3 Might, 20 Will, 3 Fate, or you can stay really small with 0 Might, 10 Will, 0 Fate.
And do we see like a good mixture of different...
Yeah, you see him all over the spectrum.
All over. So he really is sort of used to sort of fit in with the forces.
Yeah.
And I can imagine some very, very different roles for him.
He can either be combatty or he can be, as a ring wraith is, just a caster.
Yeah.
He has the same spells that most of them have. He's got Drain Courage on a 2+, Sap Will on a 3, Transfix on a 3, Compel on a 4, Your Staff is Broken on a 4, unique to him and Gandalf the White, and Black Dart on a 5.
Okay. So nothing massively different in there apart from your staff is broken.
No.
And reasonably good casting.
Yeah, he's got the sort of the best casting.
Yeah, he's a pretty good caster.
Yeah.
Now, how do we tend to see him? Do we see him a lot on Fell Beast? Do we see him on horses, armoured horses?
Again, with the Witch King of Angmar, it's all over the place. He can be on foot.
Just really, really versatile.
Yeah. You fit him into your army, not your army around him.
And I have to say, I really do like the aesthetic that Weta did with the...
the Witch King. The Crown of Morgul is really cool.
It is really, really, really cool. And I in particular like the one with him on the horse.
This one.
The one that's actually pictured there, which...
With the flaming sword.
That's right, which Generation Shift is painting up for us, which will be pretty cool. So that's the Witch King, that's the main
one. You
one.
should talk about the next one, and I'll talk about the one after.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, isn't the Dwimmerlake one of your favourites?
Yeah.
So that's right, we've got the Dwimmerlake, which is another named wraith. He's a spirit and ring wraith.
Can be banished.
He's that named
successfully.
He's a named wraith points cost, which is at 120 points.
Yeah.
He has got that wraith profile. He's got that fight 5, 4+ shoot value, strength 4, defense 8, 1 attack, 1 wound, courage 6. He's got no might.
No might, Angmar.
No might. No might. He's got 16 will, which is reasonable.
Well, he can't boost his dice rolls, so yeah.
It's pretty good. And he's got 2 fate. 2 fate. Now, just with the other raves, named raves, he's got all of those options. So Horned Fell Beast, Armoured Fell Beast, Armoured Horse. If you want to go and check those out, you know where to look. He causes terror. He's got the Harbinger of Evil, the Will of Evil. So we've already talked about those. Go and check them out. And then it comes to this. nasty, 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 nastiness that only the very worst of people who are destined for hell would ever do to anybody.
No.
Especially to really fluffy players
No.
like Kieran,
No.
bringing White Council on
No,
foot, and you're there
no.
chuckling away to yourself while he had no
It's
chance.
so disgusting.
It is awful. It's called sap fortitude. I hope you're listening to this. Whenever an enemy hero spends a point of might, will, or fate within 12 inches, that's 12 inches, 12 inches of the Dreamer Lake, roll a d6. On a 4 or more, an extra point of the same type must be spent or the deed is cancelled and does not take effect. And might, will, or fate already committed to it is lost.
Yeah!
It's horrible. It's horrible. I can remember, what was I painting? I was having to paint something to get something ready, and you were playing Kieran, and I could just hear behind, do you want to spend another point, and then it got to a point where it was like, yeah, you can't cast that, or you can't use that might.
The free like Aragon's free might? Yeah, no. 4+, you can't use that. You can't use that. Gandalf, cast a spell, 3 point of will. Hold on, 4+, no, you can't cast it.
So you can't use another world to do that, or
Unless you've got it in your store, or when it's out of it.
Yeah, pretty awful, and we do see that used to effect.
By me.
Yeah, he's quite popular, the Dreamer Lake.
He is.
He's quite popular because he's a strong wraith. He's a good booster, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. However, he is target priority before anything else.
Yeah, of course he is.
At the weekend, in 6 of our games, he died turn 2 in 4 of them.
Yeah.
Turn 1 in 1 of them.
He has to be target priority.
And in the other game it was Reconnoiter and he got put into a corner on his own.
Well, he has to be target priority. I've been in a game. I was in a game against him at Throne of Skulls. I think it was the rescue.
Yeah.
And Dreamer Lake was in the middle of something. It's just like, let's just get rid of him, and he goes down pretty easily.
He does. Like his fate roll. Like I think Gladriel banished him. Is that right? Fate. No, fate. Well, he's dead.
Yep. Goes down really
Legolas,
easily.
shoot him. Okay, fate. No, fate. Okay,
And it's worth using the might to get rid of him as well.
Of course,
because what he does in the game.
Yeah.
Now he does have some magical powers, and he's a reasonable caster, I suppose.
It's all the lowest values to cast.
Drain Courage 2+, Sap Will 3+, Transfix 3+, Compel 4+, Black Dart 5+.
Now, it's a great tactic with him. If they don't have any way to kill him off at range,
Yep.
with magic or with Legolas or just general good shooting, a really nice thing to do with him is to drain courage people.
Right, okay.
Because obviously you're dropping their courage down, and it's a really easy spell to cast. You can cast it on 1 dice.
Yeah.
So you get them down to about the sort of like courage 1, which is effectively courage 0 with
Yep.
him. And when they start, they're like, you tend to let the first one through. So courage 6 heroes down to courage 5 and down to 4.
Yeah.
Then you do it again, and they're like, oh, I'm courage 3. I'll use a will point to resist that. They go, is it? It's 2 points of will to resist. They're like, oh, I don't want to use another point of will.
Hang on a minute, this sounds like sneaky gibbliness.
It is. I'll let it go through. They're courage 3 now. Again! And then it's like, oh, your army's broken. Run away.
Yeah.
I'm not going to kill you. I'll just make you leave.
That's awful. And you did this to real human beings?
Yes.
Not just in practice in
Just
your
in
mind?
practice in my mind.
Wow.
I was
Your opponents must have been very
so
upset.
happy. This is good. Dreamer Lake's great.
Yeah, he's a very, very good wraith. Very good wraith. And,
Fragile but very, very powerful.
yeah. And works very well in a kind of army that you're talking about there.
No, my Angmar.
No, my Angmar.
Burn your opponent's might.
Which sounds awful, but it's actually pretty good.
No, it's not.
You don't think it's pretty
the
good?
Necromancer made it good.
Oh, the Necromancer made it good.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, we'll come on to that. So next up, we've got another named wraith, and the last one in this list.
Gone from potentially one of the best wraiths to easily the worst named wraith ever, the Tainted.
The Tainted. I've never seen this guy.
I have played against him once and he was just rubbish.
Yeah.
So bad. So he's 120 points and the Ring Wraith stat line: Fight 5, Strength 4, Defense 8, 1 attack, 1 wound, Courage 6, 1 might, 12 will, 1 fate. The lowest of everything besides 0.
Wow.
Yeah. He has a Horned Fellbeast, Armoured Fellbeast, Armoured Horse, and Horse as his options. Terror, Harbinger of Evil, the Will of Evil. Miasmatic Presence. Warriors within 6 inches of the Tainted may not use a hero standfast, nor may they take part in heroic moves.
That's your own.
All warriors.
All warriors.
Yeah.
So your own and opponents. So he's got a negative on you.
Yes, yeah.
Well, that's not good.
However, if you think about it, stopping your opponent's models from heroic moving, their warriors, is a really nice ability in an all-hero force. But it's not great with that 1 white, 1 fate, and 12 will.
Yeah.
Next up is Seeping Decay. At the start of the fight phase, roll a d6 for each model friendly or enemy in base contact with the Tainted, so even if you're supporting him. On the roll of a 6, they suffer a wound.
Right, okay.
So, 6 is to wound anyone in base contact with you before the fight. Chances of you getting it off, not great.
No.
Don't want to use your might point to boost that 5 to a 6.
No.
Nah.
It's not amazing, is it?
No. And his spells are the same as Drumelake's: Drain Courage on a 2, Sap Will on a 3, Transfix on a 3, Compel on a 4, and Black Dart on a 5.
So really, he's not got a lot going for him, the Tainted, has he?
No.
He's not got a lot going for him at all.
At all.
He's not got a lot of will.
Nope.
So he's not going to be doing loads of casting. He's not going to be in many combats.
Nope.
You don't really want him doing anything at all. So you'd spend.
You don't even want him near your troops because you can't hear it move and get people going.
Go away!
It's just awful.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's probably a reason why I've not seen him around.
Yeah.
He's an alright model. It's alright. It's an alright model. So I like some of the...
His mere presence is poison to life, honour and hope.
What's it?
It's the fluff for him.
Oh, it's
Yeah, no one wants him around. Just get rid of him.
Yeah, I've got a few of the named rays downstairs ready sort of to be done at some point, but he is one that I don't have.
Do you want him?
No.
Fair enough.
No, why were you going to give him to me?
Nope. I don't buy him. I spent good money on that.
No, it's not great really. It's not great. And then
It's just terrible.
we go from him to a really interesting one.
Yeah, Gullivar, the Terror of Arnor.
Yeah, I've come across him.
Yeah, he's a spirit, he can be banished.
Whee!
Hey!
Like everything that's a spirit now is like, can be banished,
that can be banished by Galadriel. So he is 200 points,
Okay,
so expensive.
pay on.
He's fight 6, he's 4 plus shoot value, strength 8, defense 5, smiley.
Smiley.
Smiley face for attacks, it's an asterisk. 4 wounds, smiley face / asterisk for courage, 3 might, 3 will, 0 fate.
Okay.
Resistance to magic and terror, he's got fly, and immortal hunger is one of his special rules. At the end of a turn in which Gullivar slays a model, he regains a single wound from lost earlier in the battle.
So, like,
Just like the drill, he can regenerate his wounds. Yeah.
okay.
And the smiley faces, or asterisks, are strength of body and strength of will. Gullivar always has an attack and courage value equal to his remaining wounds.
Ah, so as he loses wounds, he becomes weaker.
Yes, yeah. He's essentially a vampire.
Yeah. Okay. Very interesting.
Yeah. Obviously, if he kills someone, he gets better again.
I came up against him. Charles took him with his Haradrim.
Yes, he did, yeah. I shot him down with my hobbits.
Good man.
Hobbits and elves, I was like, I'm not fighting that.
No.
Shoot that.
No, it was not very nice. It tore through a lot of my Rohan.
Yeah.
Still won, but
Good.
all my days.
It's nasty, isn't it?
It's very nasty.
He's really great at taking on troops and heroes.
Yeah, I was scared to death of him getting my heroes.
Yeah, because I mean, strength 8, he's rendered and he's only on 3s. But that hurl distance against a troop, you got +5 before the dice roll.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just. Oh.
Yeah, he's a weird model.
Yeah, he looks funky as anything.
Yeah, and again, he's kind of got that because he's not something. He's not something that we've. It's an invented thing, isn't
Yes,
it?
yeah.
Games Workshop have invented him. I can't remember there being a Gullivar in any of the fluff. If there was, then let me know, everybody. But I'm pretty sure there wasn't. So he's. It's more your kind of Warhammery kind of aesthetic.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
In that kind of sense. So in that way, I'm not a massive fan. And he is expensive. Worth the points?
Maybe 180 or something. He's just
200.
that touch too expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, you can lead troops, but you're probably not going to have him as your general, being defense 5 and 0 fate, because he will take wounds quite easily to things like Legolas and shooting.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. Is he better than Bjorn or?
Probably not now.
Probably not better than Bjorn.
No.
Just interesting comparing the points values. And then there's one which I actually really do like the aesthetic of.
Yeah, he's really cool. Do you want to do him?
Yeah, I do Badur. I actually got Badur off you.
You did, yeah.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I love this model. I really love
Is he
this
still in
model.
pieces?
He is with Generation Shift.
Oh, cool.
I pretty much sent all of my
Hey,
evil
nice
stuff. Pretty much sent all of my evil. I can't imagine
Yeah.
getting around to painting all of that. Really cool kind of look. He's got that kind of hill trolly kind of look going on, hasn't he?
Yeah, he was his fluff is that he's a leader of hill trolls.
Oh, brilliant. Well, that's good to hear. Now he's not expensive either.
No, it's not. He
Really?
is.
You would consider him
just over 100.
You would say that he was a kind of higher mid
Yeah.
point hero or a low high pointed hero. He's on that kind of boundary, 110, pretty cheap. So he can move 6, he's got fight value 6, so that's good. 4+ shoot value, he's got strength 6, defense 6, he's got 3 attacks, 3 wounds, courage 4, and he's got 3 might, 1 will, 1 fate.
So he's a hero cave troll.
Yeah,
Can't be banished.
can't be banished.
Can't be banished.
But he's a monster, he can brute
He
power
is.
attack, yeah.
And he's armed with, what would you say that is? I say that's a pick. It's not a sword, is it?
It is a sword. It's a sword with a pick end, isn't it? it's,
Pick
like,
sword.
it's like your urukai, isn't it?
Yeah, but on a
They've got the pointy
huge
bit.
scale, I'd say that's more of a pick.
Well, are you talking about for piercing striking when people are debating it?
Piercing strike or feint.
I'd say whatever the player wants to do with it at the start.
Feint.
He's definitely piercing striking, isn't
Yeah,
he?
yeah.
He's definitely piercing striking. Strength 10.
Strength 9.
Yes.
Got my
Strength
D3.
9, sorry, yeah. So he can throw stones, but he's probably not going to be doing that, is he? Because what's he
No.
probably going to be doing?
He can get into combat, smash stuff up.
Yeah, that's the whole point of this guy. Not necessarily going to make this guy your leader, I imagine.
No.
I mean, yeah, he's got the 3 wounds, but 1 fate,
One feint, defense 6.
defense 6.
Trap him, he goes down.
Yeah, I've seen him go down a few times. But gorgeous model, I've seen loads of really good paint jobs on him.
Yeah,
haven't
he's really cool.
there? Why did you sell him?
Just never going to use him again.
Right, okay. I'm glad I benefited from it, but absolutely gorgeous model. I'm pretty sought after because I think he's out of production now, is he?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's out of production now. So that's Badr. Do we see many of him around?
We do. Yeah, so there's enough of him.
Yeah. He kind of ruined your whole sort of no might.
Yeah, so I couldn't use him as well. No matter what.
No might Angmar all the way for you. And then one that you do want to talk about.
Barry White. The Barrow White.
The Barrow White, wow.
Barry White. So he's 50 points. So he's middle of the road. He's cheap.
Yeah, quite cheap.
Yep. Fight 3, 4+ shoot value. He's a spirit, can be banished.
Go away.
Oh, he's nasty when he's banished. Strength 2, defense 7, 1 attack, 1 wound, courage 6, so decent hero. 0 might, 5 will, 0 fate. So banish him and if you don't resist, you're dead.
Yeah.
Special rules terror and wears heavy armour and has a sword. And the magical power paralyze.
What is paralysed, Jack?
Paralyze has a range of 6 inches and is cast on a 4+. Paralyze. The target is immediately paralysed. It is knocked to the ground and may do nothing until it recovers. If engaged in combat, the victim rolls no dice, automatically losing any fight if no other friendly models are involved, and counts as trapped. Eek. At the end of the fight phase, the opposing player must roll a d6 for each paralysed model. On the roll of a 6, that victim recovers and immediately stands up. Each friendly model that spends the fight phase in contact with a paralysed model without doing anything else can attempt to revive them. Each model rolls a d6 and each roll 6 as described. Might can be used to modify this roll.
You're basically paying 50 points for the spell,
Yes.
aren't you?
Yeah, that's it.
For the ability to paralyse, because paralyse is nasty.
It is grim.
It's nasty, and you say you took some
Yeah, I took one to the
effective?
very. We paralysed. I had a list of it, but over the 6 games we paralysed Balance and Funding, killed him in a turn.
That's not very nice.
No, we paralysed Thor and Oakenshield and killed him in a turn.
That's not very nice.
No, it's not. We paralysed Gandalf.
Poor Gandalf.
We didn't get into him though because he had a line of troops behind him.
Yeah.
We paralysed Gwahir twice because it recovered the first time. We were like, no! You sit back down, Birdie. We paralysed Thranduil, the big Thranduil, fight 7, 3 attack 1.
He didn't
When we just left him,
just left him, yeah.
go away.
Yeah.
We could
It just takes him out of the game.
Yeah, well, that's what it does. Yeah, we had the 2-handed orcs. We're knocking around wherever he was,
Mm-hmm.
so that we could, try and just get those onto the paralysed models. Piercing strike, 2-handed. Most of the time, even 3s and 4s to wound.
It's a really nasty spell.
it's a horrible spot, and there's very little besides resisting it that you can do to.
That's 4
Take
plus.
yourself on it.
You're going to be getting it half the time. So
Yeah,
you're probably going to get it 3 times, aren't you?
What you do, well, what we decided was best, is 2 dice, 1 dice.
Yeah.
So you hopefully will paralyse them by the last dice.
Yeah.
And the last dice is usually just thrown at someone to try and draw some will.
Yeah.
But I'll have a couple of them when I take my proper no might Angmar force.
Yeah, I've got a few Barrow
I
Whites.
think I've got 4 for the scenario. So.
Yeah, and I think they're really nice models actually.
They are cool, aren't they?
Yeah, I think that they are pretty cool. Considering the Games Workshop have had to sort of imagine what a Barrow White is. They've not gone silly really. They've kind of, it's not too Warhammery or anything, is it? It's a pretty cool model. They're quite a tall model, aren't they?
Surprisingly tall, yeah.
Yeah, they're quite a surprisingly tall model.
Next up, the most beautiful model in the collection.
It's James.
It's James the Shade.
James the Shade.
Shady James.
As our shade is known as.
It's a spirit.
Because you tend to take it when I get
it. Can be banished.
It can be banished. No way. So this is the Shade. Q groans from many, many people out there. It's 100 points.
100 points.
100
Very
points.
expensive for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, probably not.
Yeah. It moves 6. It's only got 5 value of 1. It's got 4 plus shoot value. It's got a strength of 1, defense 8, 1 attack, 3 wounds, courage 1. It's got 0 might, 3 will, and 0 fate.
No might Angmar. He can go in the list.
I'm guessing this is like a combat.
Yeah, definitely
Combat thing.
Definitely combat.
Combat hero. No, it isn't. This is for buffing troops. I remember the first time I came up against one of those. I did win the game, but I can remember thinking, this is awful. And it's awful because of a certain spell.
Well,
Not terror. He's got a special rule terror. Oh, sorry, yeah, it's not a spell, is it? It's a special rule. He's got terror. He's also got Blades of the Dead. When determining what number a shade needs to wound his opponents, use the opponent's courage rather than its defense on a wound chart. Yeah.
That strength 1, it makes him wound on 5s and 6s.
Yeah.
Rather than like 6s and 5s.
But if your shade is in combat, then you're
You've
probably
done it
doing
wrong.
something wrong.
Yeah.
Because it's this bit that you are paying for. This is where the 100 points all comes from, in my opinion. Shades are terrifying supernatural creatures whose mere presence can sap vigour from the living. This is the chill aura. Any animal model within 6 inches of 1 or more shades suffers a -1 on its roll to win a fight. This is cumulative with other such penalties, such as wielding a 2-handed weapon. So this is a great way for evil armies to negate their lower fight value.
Yeah, because all it does is essentially lets you win draws and burn heroes' might.
Yeah. It means that if you roll a 6,
It's a 5.
it's a 5. Which means that if you've rolled a 6, unless it's a hero, you've lost.
Yeah.
So it's a really, really good way of countering those higher fight value armies and heroes.
Yeah.
Burning heroes' might. So we see this guy in combination with a few things, Tom.
The Shade drops into lots of forces.
Hmm.
But, yeah.
Yes, he does.
It's like, I've got 100 points left. Shade.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter what army it's with, it makes it better.
Yeah.
As long as you've got a front line of troops with the spears, it just makes any battle line that much better.
Yeah. And it's quite a controversial model, isn't it?
Yeah, I've said it, and I stand by it. It takes no skill to use a Shade.
No.
You literally just put 3 models around it so it can't be moved around by spells, and put it behind your line.
Yeah.
I've used Shades plenty of times because they're very good, but it takes no skill to use.
Yeah. And it's usually when they're dropped in with things. So, for example, I would say that if you're using it as part of an Angmar, no might Angmar.
Oh, my Angmar, it's well needed.
That's where it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
But we do tend to see this guy dropped in with things like Corsair Reavers.
Corsair Reavers, Goblin Horde.
Goblin Horde. Used a lot of Goblin Horde.
Yeah.
Used a lot. Which is where the controversy kind of comes up. And I'm guessing he works quite well with the Drummer Lake. Against heroes.
If the Drummer Lake survived into that stage of the game, then I'm sure he would do, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the plan.
That was the plan.
Until he got put on a horse. My plan when he's on foot is to stand him behind the Shade because it's such a big clunky model.
Yeah.
Just hide him.
Yeah, just hiding behind that defense 8 thing.
Yeah.
It's not a very nice model.
Nah.
Very rare
Yeah,
and
but
very sought after.
I don't think it's so much rare. I think it's just
People who have them don't want to get
people
them.
who have them don't want to sell them because they're not available.
Mm.
And when they do sell them, they know it's worth money because it's so good.
Yeah.
So
We've seen them go for quite a bit.
yeah, I mean, I think It's gone up. I think the most expensive it's seen is like £70-80 on it.
Did you sell one?
Yeah, I sold it for what I bought it for.
Right, okay.
I did it on eBay.
Yeah, that's right, that's right. And I have one which has been painted up by Generation Shift, which is called James the Shade, because it usually keeps Jamie company when he goes away.
Goes on tournaments.
When he goes on tournaments with the horrible army that he takes, not the nice one that we all love.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the Shade, and yeah, definitely one for debate. So it'd be interesting to hear what your experiences are of the Shade.
Yeah.
And then we come to your Captain and Shaman profiles.
Yes.
Orc Captain, cheapest chips.
Yeah. We discussed him in the Isengard list.
Yes.
We discussed the Angmar Orc Shaman also in the Isengard list. Not the Angmar Orc Shaman, but the Orc Shaman.
Yeah, he's exactly the same, yeah?
Yeah.
Except this one's got a very weird...
It's just different models.
Yeah, the model for the Angmar Orc Shaman is weird.
Lots of skulls.
Weird.
Big red eye.
Big red eye on his staff. So that pretty much takes us to the end. What's that?
A big red eye on his staff.
Big red eye on him. You bad man. Jay's not here yet. It's terrible. Get it out of your system. Get it out of your system. So yeah, that does take us to the end of the heroes of Angmar. I hope you enjoyed us having a little bit of a chat about them. I think there's some pretty cool Angmar.
They're interesting, aren't they?
Yeah, it's got an interesting selection.
It's difficult to play with. Say that.
Yeah, but I like the Witch King. I like the Drumlake. I like the Dur. I like Barrow Whites. Not a massive fan of Shades, but you can see why it might be needed in the army, or what it could give to that army. So next up, we are going to be coming to a much more limited video in some ways, and that's going to be the Warriors of Angmar. Not a lot to talk about in those, but we will do that in the next video. But where we will fill that up is there are lots and lots and lots of scenarios.
Yeah, there's 5 scenarios or something.
Which is a lot compared to some of the others we've looked at so far. So that'll be our next video. Make sure you come along and you watch that, and get involved in the discussion below. What do you think of the heroes of Angmar? As always, don't forget to comment, like, share and subscribe.
Support your hobby. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
And as always, team, happy strategy battle gaming.